There are pulpits like this one right here in church buildings all across this country, well, all around the world, really. But what's most interesting to me is the message that's coming from these pulpits. What some of my friends have told me is that the message that's being delivered is ever-changing. And I think what they mean is that the precepts and the principles on which their church once stood have changed, and sometimes have changed again and again. So much so that someone told me, I don't even know what my church stands for anymore. Someone else said, my church has left me. Well, what does that mean? That somebody has come along and picked up the physical building and moved it somewhere else? No, that's not what they're talking about at all. But they're making reference to the point that the precepts and principles on which that church once stood have changed, and in some cases seem to be ever-changing. I mean, even on the news we can see that there are churches that change what they believe by a vote of men. And it leads some to ask, well, how can they do that? Well, if the principles of a church come from the minds of men, then they have the right or the authority to make changes in that doctrine, whatever it would be and to whatever it would change to be. Is that the way of the church of our Lord? In the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 18, Jesus says, I have come to build my church. That's an interesting passage to me and a powerful one. It's a very short point, but it's potent, it's powerful. I have come to build my church. And in that statement, we can see that it's possessive, that it belongs to Christ. It's singular in ownership, and that it gives Him rule. He has the right to set the principles and precepts on which the church would stand. He has authority to do that. And here we are in a day where it seems that there are many churches that continue to move where they are on doctrine and in creed. We can go to the Bible and we can read about a church that stands on the same doctrine that it did 2,000 years ago. In John chapter 8 and verse 31, Jesus says to those who are His disciples, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's another one of those passages that is short but powerful in what it says. That if we are to be the disciples of Jesus Christ, then we have to follow His word. And you notice it does not say to follow anything else, but that we are to follow His word, that it is His truth that will make us free. And again, what's so powerful to me is that doctrine is unchanging. And in fact, the Hebrew writer would say of Jesus, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Has your church left you? Would you like to know more about the church that Jesus talks about in the Bible? Then please, come and be with us in our Bible studies and our worship assemblies at the Asheville Church of Christ.